Hey babes, I am back. I'm Mrs. Leela Thomasone, dating, relationship, and marriage mentor. Good to see you again. Thanks so much for watching. I am here to talk a little bit about how you should talk about your exes. Should you share about your past relationships with your current relationship with your significant other? How do you do that? So that's what I'm here to help you with today. So a couple of guidelines when you are starting out a relationship, you definitely want to keep any talk about an ex to a bare minimum. Like if you can help not saying anything at all, then that is the way to go. When you're first meeting someone, when you're first bonding with them and getting to know them, you want to keep everything as positive as possible. You want to be bonding with them over happy things, exciting, fun things, not about exes and past relationships, okay? So keep it positive. Keep that to a bare minimum when you first get to know someone. But, you know, as you go along, of course, the topic's going to come up. If you're getting serious with somebody, they're probably going to want to know a little bit of something, right? I don't necessarily encourage you. I don't think you need to talk about past relationships so much, and I can go into why that is if you'd like in a future video. Comment down below and let me know if you want to hear more about what I recommend instead of asking questions about past relationships. But I understand that you can't control your partner. They want to know what they want to know, and you got to do something, right? You got to go somewhere with it. And I'm not saying you should be in denial at all. But like I said, keep things as positive as possible when you're bonding and getting to know someone. But if it looks like it's going to work out and you're going to have a future together, then of course you want to be honest with past mistakes and past relationships and what's happened with those. So you don't want to speak gushingly about your exes. They're out of your life for a reason, right? You're hoping that your current relationship is going to be forever, right? Probably, hopefully. So there's no reason to really speak glowingly about an ex, okay? But I'm not saying you should put them down or blame them either. That's really unattractive as well. Because you were just as much a part of your past failed relationships as they were. You were the common denominator when you look at all of those, past experiences. You were there for all of it. So you have to be able to acknowledge your mistakes and take responsibility. So that's my second point. After keeping it positive and bare minimum in the beginning of a relationship, what you're going to say about your exes and past relationships. But in general, you always want to be willing to take responsibility for your mistakes. Don't blame everybody else. That is not going to bode well for your current or future relationships. You need to be willing to take responsibility. And don't try to diagnose your exes, okay? Don't talk about past relationships in terms of oh, they're a narcissist, they're abusive. That may be true, but unless you're a psychologist, you should not be the one diagnosing them, okay? And maybe even if you are a psychologist, I don't know, give me a call. We'll work that one out. But if you're not, don't try to diagnose them. Keep your statements about your past relationships kind of to the facts. This is what happened. This is what happened. I take responsibility for what I was unaware of. I was naive. For example, if you were naive, that you're admitting what your feelings were, but not blaming the other person for what they did wrong, right? Because that person doesn't need to be in a relationship with your new partner or significant other. So it really doesn't matter what they did wrong, right? It only matters what you can take responsibility for. So keep it factual, take responsibility, don't diagnose them, and remember you can't unring that bell once you disclose past history and relationships, and so you really want to tread lightly and be very careful. If your significant other wants to know a lot about your past relationships, you know, really remember that you can't unsay things. So go there very, very carefully. Keep it as general as possible on what the mistakes were that you made and what went wrong in the relationship, just to show that you understand and you've learned from your mistakes so that you won't repeat those mistakes. Like, that's kind of the main gist of what you want to achieve in any kind of conversation like that with your significant other, right? Is basically to reassure them that you've learned from your mistakes and won't repeat them. Okay, so that's what you want to kind of keep in mind. You want to be really fully processed with whatever you talk to them about so that you're not feeling triggered and you're not triggering them with what you disclose. If it's not completely necessary, like, just leave it out, don't talk about it. Okay, so those are my guidelines on whether you should share about past relationships with your current partner or your significant other, and how you should talk about your exes. So first thing is to keep things really positive in the beginning of your relationship. Make sure that you're bonding over good things, happy things, excitement and fun, and not over negativity and past mistakes. Don't keep that out of it in the beginning. Second is to make sure you're taking responsibility for your part in past situations that haven't worked out, and that you understand the mistakes you've made and you've learned from them. Keep it factual. Don't diagnose your ex. And remember, you can't unring that bell when you've said something to your current partner. It's out there forever. So be very, very careful with what you talk about. Okay, so I hope those guidelines are helpful to you in your current relationship. I wish you all the best, and I would love to help you further if you want to know more about how to empower yourself in your relationships and create the marriage of your dreams. Whether you're single or married already, I would love to help. My website is limitlessbyleela.com, and you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and I'm always available to chat if you want to know more about how I can help you, and that link is meetme.so/limitlessbyleela. So I look forward to seeing you here again next time. Thank you so much for joining me and watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you again next time. Bye.